taking on one of the top 5 teams in the conference, the Northwestern Wildcats. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. Northwestern ready to kick it off to get things started. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. So Florida State's offense will have the football first. And what a performance, an aerial show from this guy in the last game, and he has to have a ton of confidence coming into this one, David.
Yeah, it was a great week. And watching that tape before this game, like you could tell, man, he was seeing it quick. The ball was coming out, just touchdowns at will. A really nice day. And I think, Jesse, you take that and you start to build on it for this offense and really continue to trust him to make plays through the air.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think he really earned his offensive coordinator's trust after that performance. So I'm anticipating the playbook to expand a little bit in this game. Maybe see some new schemes in the passing game just based on what this guy was able to do the last time he took the field.
Really nice job by the defense playing responsibility football, making sure the quarterback couldn't make any of his reads, making sure the picture is not clear, getting downhill, getting the quarterback on the ground.
So already they've hit a speed bump on this opening drive. It's 3rd and 8. He lobs one high down the left side. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on. And the Noles will punt it away on 4th down. The punter going to get his first work of the afternoon. Just a wall of defenders everywhere he looks, and he's guided out of bounds after a short return. So the Northwestern Wildcats offense will go to work for the first time. Every team has impact players. What traits are you looking for when it comes to players who can make an impact, David?
Well, obviously, you want the main things, right? Speed, physicality, like all power, all those things are really, really good. But you also need guys that will hold people accountable, guys that will lead. And it's nice to have those guys on your team. They're the leaders of the team, and they're the best players.
And part of the reason why they're leaders is because these guys galvanize their teammates, right? We've seen time and time again, these dudes make plays, and it just sparks the sideline. It sparks the coaching staff. It sparks the fans. They're special players, and they all have to play well today.
They'll go to the ground. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Both these teams have had some good moments this year, and they'd love nothing better than to improve their bowl positioning, build a little momentum by getting a win in this one.
They're just trying to punctuate the season, right? How big would it be for one of these two programs to finish the year as a ranked team? It would help them so much in the offseason with recruiting and really help their confidence looking ahead to next year, David.
And confidence and momentum and just learning how to win. A part of that is a part of the process of being great in the future. And this team, learning how to win, finding ways to get it done. It's only going to build momentum, and hopefully you can carry that over to next season.
All right, guys, here comes the Florida State offense onto the field. They went 3 and out on their first possession, now to see if they can be more productive this time around. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
Yeah, and a great job by the defense, holding the line of scrimmage, playing downhill, playing responsibility football, making sure they shut down that option play.
That's caught. It's Gibson. He has an extensive juke library, and he exhausted it and still didn't pick up much. Now the defense will try to rise up on 3rd and short from the 21.
Great team defense on that run play. Everybody doing their job. People winning their one-on-ones, D-linemen staying in their gaps, linebackers and DBs filling. You just can't do it better.
Kick is in the air. Wants to bring it back. Slips through the line. That nifty return sets up the offense and negates some of the yardage on the punt. The Northwestern offense returns to the field. They went 3 and out last time. Now they'll look for some plays that work. Wants to throw. It's Gray. Fires into traffic. Intercepted. He managed a few yards on that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover. See if they can turn this drive into points. They've got it 1st and 10 at the 50. Use the play fake. Now to throw. And it's picked off at the goal line. That's a way to make a stand. Looking for more room. He'll go out of bounds, but he gets the ball back, takes it the other way, and he has created a great sudden change opportunity. And the offense out on the field to go back to work. Gonna run it. It's Reeder. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground. Take away that run game. Make them one-dimensional, put them in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
Back to pass. Shoots it to the left. Makes the grab. They are on the move down to the 32, and they pick up another 1st down.
When you're throwing these comeback routes, man, the timing has got to be so good between the two of them because you know the ball is going to be in the air a long time. You can't throw it late. It's going to get picked. That time, really nice job getting it out early, and the receiver doing a nice job on his route so that the ball was right on him as soon as he turned around.
And quarterback receiver on the same page. Nice job seeing the zone, understanding the drag route concept. Easy pitch, easy catch.
Turning it on! An explosive play in the running game as he's got the 1st down. Northwestern making quick work on this drive. They'll ride the hot hand. And into the end zone. He rumbles all the way down to the 2-yard line. He gave a little bit of everything on that one. On 1st and goal, let's see if Northwestern can score. They'll go with a direct snap. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
Yeah, what a great job by the defense. You got to understand, it's physical time, right? They want to run the football when they start getting inside the 5. Nice job getting penetration, getting the tackle for the loss.
Working that wide receiver screen. And the defense knocks him down immediately behind the line. It's 3rd and goal and a long way from the end zone. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up. And they decide to trot out the kicker. Just drives it between the uprights. And the first points of the day come on that field goal.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
They'll kick it away after putting up a field goal on that last drive. And he takes this from inside the 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Just enough time for one more snap before the end of the quarter. Coming out on 1st down with the play fake. He'll throw it. He's got the tight end. Really needed a play like that to get out of their own end. They move the chains. They mark it at the 29. Guys, we've come to the end of the period, and Northwestern has the lead here. And after that 1st quarter, let's see if these guys can get back in the game in the 2nd. First play of the period, 1st down here. Dropping back, it's Glenn. Quickly complete. And they'll stop him just short of the 1st down, just inches away from moving the sticks. The Seminoles come to the line. This situation, you might see a shot play. Looking to the big tight end. Just a little off. Incomplete. They went up top on 2nd and short. Surely they stick to the ground here on 3rd and inches. And the Seminoles will line it up on 1st and 10. They're trying to slow that rush down with the draw. Breaks into the open. Good pick up there. They'll move the chains, and they're set up at the 41. And the Seminoles want to move quickly.
That is such a good run. I'll tell you, if you're going to put on a Seminole helmet, you better be dangerous with the ball in your hands at the running back position, right? You think back to the late, great Bobby Bowden. He was always able to recruit a difference maker at that position. He would have loved to have this guy in his offense because it feels like he can score a touchdown every single time he has the ball.
This offense has been sluggish to say the least, but finally they're on the move on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. With the catch, it's Gibson. He's stopped and forced out of bounds just short of the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 11. The Seminoles didn't start this drive with great field position, but they have moved methodically down the field. Little touch pass to the receiver. Fights off the defender. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
Well, and on these little push passes, timing is so important. You're trying to snap it right as he's getting a full head of steam. When he gets the ball, he's hitting the outside, and David, it puts the defense in such a difficult spot.
You immediately have to be rotating when you see that motion, so everybody's got to communicate and kind of bump over. That's why offenses love to run it. It makes the defense communicate and see if you can just get them out of a spot.
Tight quarters deep in the red zone, but they can't pick up a 1st down without scoring. 3rd down. To the air, it's Glenn. Got it! And he's into the end zone. Touchdown Seminoles! An impressive, long, methodical, meticulous drive ends in points.
They just matriculated the ball down the field, didn't they, Reese? So impressive. Didn't see a lot of explosive plays, but how about the execution? Running and throwing the football. Wow.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Wildcats have it back. The Northwestern offense headed out. So far, they've only been able to muster a field goal, but hoping to get things cooking here. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36. That's the way to give yourself some breathing room. Now the second play of the drive from the 36. Not much working there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Got a little work done on 1st down. Now back to the line. They'll go to work in the air on 2nd down. It's complete on the right side. He almost picked up the 1st down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short.
And quarterback dropping back, understanding I'm getting zone coverage. All I got to do is be a little bit patient, manipulate that defense a little bit. My wide receiver runs that drag, and I get the 1st down.
Good job running that route to get past the sticks because he got nothing after the catch. Northwestern coming to the line with another 1st down. Looking to throw on 1st down. It's complete. And a nice grab there. Big pickup down to the 35-yard line. Passing game kept the drive moving. Here's 1st down. He leaves it with his back. Picks up the 1st down, still moving. They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks.
When you talk about creating big plays.
Now we'll hang on here. The coach has called a timeout. He wants the officials to take another look. Thinks he's got a good shot at getting this one overturned. This offense can get a jolt of momentum headed to the locker room if. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Northwestern.
And I like the running back's vision. He sees the hole, explodes through it. He knows where the goal line is, gets in the end zone, gets 6.
And the extra point gives them a 3-point lead at 10-7. So it's a 77-yard touchdown drive. It was closed out by the short yardage touchdown. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he'll bring it back. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. The Seminoles have it back. They'll try to get that offensive spear flaming. They'll open this drive, hoping to move it down the field. A touchdown would give them the lead. Scanning the field, it's Glenn. Pressure coming. And they get to the quarterback and knock him down back at the 16.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity. You know the quarterback was excited. He saw man coverage. He thought he was going to have an opportunity to come up with a big play, but up front, he could not protect him well enough.
We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. It's 1st and 10 from the 31. Looking downfield on first down. Catch in the middle. It's Singleton. They'll move the chains after he gets it to the 43-yard line. Wants to throw on first down. Grabbed over the middle. It's Gibson. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker. Off the play fake. Fires to the wideout. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. Guided out of bounds at the 22. A good play for this offense as they are threatening to score. The Seminoles come to the line with a new set of downs. Wants to go up top on first down. Intercepted. A first half turnover can swing momentum. Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football. Back in motion, try to clear the picture. He'll start this drive firing. Caught behind the line. It's Leon. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Looking to fire. Makes the grab. They got the first down, mark it at the 26 in the waning seconds of the half. Northwestern wants to go quickly. Looking to pass, it's Gray. Steps away. Just couldn't find an open man. He'll get rid of it, and it'll be second down.
Good decision by the QB. You're outside the pocket. You're trying to find an open target. No one's open. Throw it away and live to play another day.
Downfield. And they're getting it rolling with that play to the 42-yard line.
And this defense is going to have their hands full because they're going to need to be comfortable with guys one-on-one on islands in the perimeter of the field. And they're just going to have to make better plays than what we saw right there. They knew this offense was going to try to be aggressive. Got to need better effort in the back end for it.
Always a welcome play for the defense as they get a sack at the 47. The clock will stop with this timeout from the offense. They'll get a chance to regroup on the sideline. Back to throw, and they've got to be aware of the clock. Looking down the middle. He's open on the right. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play.
When you play zone coverage and you got a wide receiver that's a beast, it becomes very, very difficult. Got to make sure I play physical and maybe even shade the side with the wide receiver having a lot of success.
That's why it's so important for this defense to win first and second down. You set up third and longs like that. You can show your exotic looks. You can get the pass rush going. Everybody in the back end expecting throw. And that's how you force incompletions and force fourth downs. Oh, just didn't have enough leg. It looked like he had the accuracy. It looked like it was going right between the uprights. Just not enough power on the kick.
To the air on first down. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. And that is interception number 3 on the day. And he's dragged down after the interception, and that's how we'll close out the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
All right, guys, looks like we've got a great environment there today in Evanston. And how can we begin our analysis of that first half without singing the praises of one of the elite backs in football? Racking up huge numbers on the ground, even throwing the occasional block. This kid is the total package. And if this defense doesn't adjust his strategy, he could be headed towards a career day.
The Northwestern offense returns to the field. They haven't really been able to light up this scoreboard, but putting points up would be huge here. Makes the tackle at the 32, but they were backed up inside their 20, and they pick up 15. With a first down, they'll snap it from the 32. Fires to the tight end. And they bring him down quickly, but a good gain there. There's not a lot more beautiful in football than the play action and the open tight end.
Yeah, because it freezes those linebackers, it freezes those safeties because they have to come up for a second and play the run, and then the big tight ends, big targets on the back end can catch the football and make big plays.
The Wildcats come to the line on 3rd and short, hoping to keep the drive alive. They'll try to bully their way for the first. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. So in their own territory, on 4th and inches, the offense will stay on the field. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Oh, he dropped it. Just didn't look it all the way in, and they'll turn it over on downs. The decision to go for it does not pan out. Back to throw, it's Glenn. Just missed on the connection, incomplete.
And that was good defense again, and unfortunately we've been saying that all game long. Really, really good defense. Or, listen, you can spin on the other side. This offense has really been bad.
That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
I gotta be honest, I am shocked at just how well the defense has played in this game, especially stopping the run. We talked about statistically how they've struggled this season, but they have put the clamps down in this one, and they're just playing with a ton of it.
Another interception. That's his 4th of the day. Trying to take it back. Finally brought down, but what a play, not only to get the football, but to flip the field position with the return. Wildcats have it back. The Northwestern offense headed out. And points have been hard to come by in this one. They'll try to put together a drive. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. On the run, it's Leon. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They'll try the run. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe. 2nd and 7. Stuck with a running game on first down. Now here they come again. Right back to the well. Gets it past the marker. Now he's got it all the way down to the 21-yard line, and they are threatening on first down. Northwestern moving the ball expeditiously. Caught over the middle. It's McGee. That one takes it down to the 13-yard line. The modest gain on the completion really shows why you want to run the zone. Make them execute and rally to the ball.
100%. Zone eyes on the quarterback. I see him throw the football, break on it, go make tackles, live to fight another down.
It's a nice job running the in route there by the receiver. And the best thing he did after he made his break, he didn't trail and fade away. He actually attacked the football. That's a good lesson for young receivers out there watching.
This time they stop him behind the line of scrimmage, and boy, that has been rare in this one. Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. To the air, it's Gray. Throw to the end zone, picked off.
And he makes a play in the back end. Nice job reading the pass, and that's his 2nd of the season. This guy, unbelievable job seeing the quarterback, breaking on the quarterback, and going and getting that big play.
He'll pull it on the read. And I think they'll give him 2 on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, and it's a nice job by this defense understanding, listen, that QB is a threat. And they're going to run all kinds of options, and he's going to run the football. They were dialed in and got that sucker to the ground.
Handoff from the gun. And they didn't get it forward an inch. Defense wins the battle up front. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Got it in the middle, it's Singleton. And it's not quite going to be enough as they stop him 4 yards short of the marker. The Noles will punt this one away. catch. Pick up whatever yardage you can and help out the offense. Good field position here as they start this drive from their 43. They'll start this drive going to the air. Snagged in the middle, it's Wagner. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Looking for space, it's Leon. All down at the 39-yard line, but he's got 15 yards on the play and a fresh set of downs.
You know, as a defense, you can have the right call and the right guy in the right spot, but that guy's just too good. And how about the running back on that play? Just making it happen, breaking off the huge gain. It's tough to get these guys on the ground.
It falls incomplete, and we'll change ends of the field to get things started back up. Guys, we've come to the end of the period, and Northwestern has the lead here. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. Here comes the fourth. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. And a chance to mull things over. Let's see how they start the final period here on second down. To the ground with the back. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Now facing a third and long. Looking to throw, it's Gray. Fires to the right. And it's taken away by the defense, and they desperately needed that turnover. He'll try to take it back. Touchdown, Florida State. And what a turn of events as this defense gets the pick six.
So much pressure on this defense just to get a stop on this drive. They were trailing, but after that turn of events and the interception, they've now got the lead. Now remember, they're going to have to come right back on the field. They've got to be able to refocus themselves, but what a play.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And with the extra point, they're up 14-10. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Fellas, a big-time top 15 duel. Let's get right to it. Alabama looks like a legit title contender right now, which they kind of do every year, but, man, this offense is rolling. They're up by 18 over Mississippi State. Just another week of SEC football where we've come to expect the unexpected, fellas.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. From the gun, running back on the move. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
And this offense on first down, man, they go backwards. And they've built a deficit, and they've been sluggish. And they just need something to get going, to get started, because they've kind of looked out of sorts and out of rhythm this whole game.
Catch in the middle, it's Leon. He'll get it up to about the 32-yard line before he stopped, and it'll be first down. New set of downs after the completion. Fires to the big fella. And an absolutely fearless tackle. Giving up size, still got him on the turf. Now on second down. Looking for a man, it's Gray. Another interception. This guy just can't find his own players. And he's wrapped up after a... They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. And it'll come out to the 25, no attempt at a return. The Northwestern offense returns to the field. It's a good thing to be charitable, Jesse, but I think the last couple of drives might be overdoing it a bit.
I agree, and I think at this point, David, the quarterback here, he's got to be a CEO, and he's got to really get his guys settled down. A couple turnovers in a row now. They've got to find a rhythm.
A CEO, a.k.a. don't screw it up, young man. That's what it sounds like on the sidelines with the coaches. We got to stop turning the football over.
He's got it at the 20. Touchdown, Wildcats. And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, hits you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy. The connection between quarterback, wide receiver, you can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
Set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. Returner will field it and try to get some field position. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Okay, guys, the Florida State offense returns to the field. They had to settle for the chip shot field goal last time, Jesse. They'd love for this one to pay off big. Oh, he's got some space. A little more space, open up that... They go to the ground. You'll take this every time. 5 yards on the first down play. Everybody has to be set. They have to get it off. Looking downfield, it's Gray. Fires to the big fella. They'll mark him down at the 40 after ripping off 10. It's a first down. They'll stop the clock to reset the chains. Offense up tempo. Use the play fake, now to throw. Just gets rid of the football, nobody to throw it to. It'll be second down.
Well, they don't connect on that throw, but you're seeing the 2-minute drill live and in full effect for this offense, something they practice each and every single week. Looking for the sidelines, using the clocks, understanding the timeout situation. But these are plays they feel like they can run in their sleep to put themselves in position to kick a field goal here late.
The offense takes a timeout with 30 seconds left. Got to move quickly here. They need to get it to field goal range. Grabbed in the middle. It's coming. That'll get the job done and move the chains, and they'll mark the ball at the 45. Looking to throw on first down. Unloads to the wideout. Finds a man on the right. Just what this offense was looking for. Sets him up at the 26 for the first down. Looking to throw on first down. Going for it all. Pass is incomplete, and we dwindle down to 7 seconds.
Man, you know the defensive coordinator on that play was holding his breath, because in the fourth quarter, you've got one of the fastest players in the game going deep on you. And that's going to be a helmet sticker for somebody. Like, forcing an incompletion against that guy, that's incredible.
And he was dying to push his way in there, but he's knocked down at the 3. It has been said that the obstacle is the way, and this obstacle is now back-to-back losses.
Back-to-back L's. It's not the end of the world, though. I still think there's time for this team to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to finish the season strong. It's not over yet. 2 bad weeks. Flush it down the toilet. Refocus the mechanism. We're ready to rock and roll next week.
It just needs to be about finding a way to win a game right now. In all likelihood, 99.9% chance the college football playoff now is not a possibility anymore. That's okay. Let's worry about winning a game. Let's go back. Let's watch the film. Let's get back to being who we are so we can get this ship right.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.